Lesson 301, we begin a new unit. It's going to have a lot of areas and volumes and surface areas and stuff, but first we got to make sure we can do our unit conversions really well. So I've got a nice list here of unit conversions. I call these useful facts. And these are facts that I can say from a lot of experience. I used to be an engineer in a past life, that these facts are kind of like the main ones. A lot of these you tend to remember after a while. How many of these do you know? You probably know a bunch of these. 1 yard is 3 foot. Did you know that? A foot is 12 inches. Did you know that? And a yard has 36 inches. That's a 3 times 12, by the way. This one, some people know this. 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. The nice thing about that 2.54 is it is not rounded off. That is exact. 1 inch. In fact, that's how they define the inch. The inch is defined as 2.54 centimeters. Anyway, more stuff. Centimeter has 10 millimeters. A mile is 5280 feet. A mile is 1760 yards. A mile is... Now, some of these you might not have memorized. Maybe somebody asked you to memorize these once upon a time and you forgot. I don't know. If you don't use them, you're going to forget them. But that's why we put them here for reference. So 1 mile is like 1.609 kilometers. So there's lots of good stuff here. A meter is 3.2808 feet. A meter is 39.37 inches. I tend to use that one a lot for some reason. 1 meter is 100 centimeters. A kilometer is 1,000 meters because that's what kilo means. It means 1,000. So meanwhile... a kilogram means 1,000 grams because that's what kilo means. It means 1,000. A liter is 1,000 milliliters because that's not what kilo means. Milli means 1,000th. So a milliliter is 1/1000th of a liter. So anyway, that's why that works. What else we got? A ton is 2,000 pounds. You knew that. A pound is 16 ounces. You knew that. An ounce is... what is an ounce? Well... if you want to convert it to grams, G is for grams, 28.35 grams. Now that's talking weight, not volume. Not a fluid ounce, but an ounce of weight. They're actually different. They're a little different. And don't use GR to stand for grams, because actually GR stands for grains. And if you've ever shot a bow and measured your arrowheads, you know about grains. So grains. So 1 ounce is 437.5 grains. So again, the point is, these are not the same thing, so don't make them the same thing. I don't think we'll be needing grains much in our construction management and in our civil engineering tech and so on, but just so you know. This is good. A pound is 454 grams. I use that a lot. A kilogram is 2.205 pounds. I use that a lot. Did you know a metric ton is 1,000 kilograms? Did you know a gallon is 4 quarts, and that a quart is 2 pints, and that a pint is 2 cups, and that a cup is 8 ounces, 8 fluid ounces. Fluid ounces are different than weight ounces. A liter is about 1.05 quarts. That's a good one to know. Milliliter. Oh, here's a good one to know. Right here. 1 milliliter is 1 cc. What that's saying is that a milliliter is a cc. What's a cc? Cc stands for cubic centimeter, which means a little volume that you make by making a little cube that measures 1 centimeter this way, 1 centimeter this way, 1 centimeter this way. If you measure a little block 1 centimeter, that's a milliliter right there. It would take a milliliter to fill that. That's how the metric system was set up, by the way, so that it was easy to convert back. You have a direct interpretation of volume measurements, like milliliters, in terms of length measurements, like centimeters. They link the darn things. Unlike gallons. How many cubic inches in a gallon? Who knows? I think it's like 230 something, but who cares? Okay, so anyway, I just wanted to kind of go through that table. These are the facts we're going to use. The more you use them, the more you start to remember them automatically. But I'm not asking you to memorize them. I'm just asking you to keep this handy, keep this table handy for the homework, certainly. You can use it on the test, all kinds of stuff like that. It's a good table to have. Now, the main thing we need to do, and I've only got like 9 examples in this lesson, but the main thing I need to do is show you a nice way to use all of these facts in order to actually do some conversions. So the method we're going to use, because it turns out it's a little weird at first, but once you get the hang of it, oh my God, you'll never go back. It's kind of like once you type with all your fingers, you'll never go back to typing with 2 fingers. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, conversion by canceling units. What does this mean? Well, what we got here is we got some feet. And what we're trying to do is convert to miles. Okay, cool. Let's look up here about feet and miles. And you kind of scan the table, and then you say, oh, there's a nice fact right there. 1 mile is 5280 feet. Hold on to that thought. 1 mile is 5280 feet. Okay, here's what you do. You take the 800 feet, and you write it down, and you put it over a 1. And then you're going to set up a multiplication. Now we're trying to get to miles, and we want to not have feet anymore. We want to get miles. Think of it this way. It's kind of like we want the feet to cancel, right? You want to have, you're going to put how many miles here and how many feet there, but the reason you're going to do it is so that these feet will actually cancel. The units cancel, just like canceling X's or Y's or whatever. The units will cancel, and the miles will survive. They won't cancel. And so you'll have miles when you're done with this. So let's remember our fact again. What was it? It was 5280 feet in a mile. So there's 5280 feet in 1 mile. Get it? That's how you set it up. Again, the main thing we're keeping track of is that we want the feet to cancel. That's the whole way that this method works. You want the feet to cancel. This method is going to be with us for a long time. I need you to get used to it, okay? So get the feet to cancel. Now, on your calculator, how do you do this? Well, you just take 800 as on top. You could say times 1 if you want, but you don't have to. Basically, you have to just divide by the 5280. I mean, if you did 800 times 1, it would look like this. And if you did 1 times 5280, it would look like this, right? Okay, now divide 800 by 5280. That's what you do. 800 divided by 5280. What have I got here? I've got just about 0.152. 0.152 miles. Okay? So, cool. I'm going to shrink that down. Let's look at another example of this. We want the units to cancel. What are we doing over here? We're going from inches to meters. The first thing you need is to look up a fact, something that links your inches and your meters. So you come up here looking around. By the way, you might notice the way I've arranged these columns. These are big things, miles and kilometers. These are not quite as big, yards and meters. These are even smaller, feet. These are even smaller, inches and centimeters. So that kind of should help you locate your facts this way. Anyway, what do we got? Inches and meters. Well, meters are over here. And I see it right there. 1 meter is 39.37 inches. Keep that in mind. 1 meter is 39.37 inches. So the way you do this, you start with 27.5 inches. Just write it down, put it over 1 so it looks like a fraction. Because we're multiplying fractions here. And we want to multiply fractions in such a way that we want these inches to cancel. So I want inches on the bottom. I'm going to want meters on the top. Look at this again. Where does the 39.37 go? It goes with the inches. So once more, the 39.37 is going here. That equals 1 meter. So it's 27.5 times 1, which is 27.5, and basically divided by 39.37. So when you do that, you will get just about 0.699 meters. Okay, so once more, the inches canceled, just like over here, the feet canceled. Meters survives, you've just converted to meters. So 27 inches is something like 0.7 of a meter. I guess that makes sense because 36 inches is a yard, right? So we're close to having a yard, and a meter are just roughly the same. They're not, but they're roughly the same. So it works. It works. Well, what else can happen? Well, here we can go from miles to kilometers. Try this again. You start by saying, I've got 350 miles. Yes, I do. Put it over 1. Now get ready to cancel the miles, which means I'm going to want to have miles on the bottom, kilometers on the top. And of course I have to, where do you get these numbers? You go look them up in the table up here. So miles to kilometers, have we got something? Remember, the big stuff's in the left column. Miles to kilometers, oh, right there, the very first fact. 1 mile is 1.609 kilometers. 1 mile is 1.609 kilometers. 1 mile is 1.609 kilometers. So notice this time we've got a straight multiplication. It's just 350 times 1.609. Dividing by 1 does nothing. So 350 times 1.609 is, and I's guts, 563 point like 2. 0.15, but whatever, 0.2, something like that. So once more, the whole idea, the miles are canceling, they're going away, just like canceling an X, whatever, it cancels. They cancel the units. The kilometers is what's left that they don't cancel, so your answer must be in kilometers. Now this is something I kind of like. Usually when people are flying by the seat of their pants, so to speak, they got these conversion factors, and they look up the conversion factors, and then the whole question is, am I supposed to multiply or am I supposed to divide? You're always going to either multiply or divide, right? Well, if you guess, it's a 50-50. If you're not quite sure, it's probably still a 50-50, right? But setting it up this way tells you, here we divided by the 5280. Here we divided by the 39.37. But here we had to multiply by the 1.609, okay? So setting it up so that the units cancel means you will never, ever make a mistake again, ever, about whether you were supposed to multiply or divide. It's a safe method, and in math, I like safe methods. I like to be safe in my math class, in my math calculations and stuff. You want to be safe. You want to try this one yourself real quick? Kind of like pause and go, Did you pause? Did you go, You write the 18 kilograms over 1, and then you're going to multiply by something. I guess you could call this a conversion factor if you want to start throwing some words around. A conversion factor, something that'll get me pounds. Now, I'm going to want to cancel kilograms, so I'm going to want to put kilograms on the bottom and pounds on the top. So I'm looking around for pound to kilograms up here. That would be under weights. Pound to kilogram, pound to kilogram. Well, I don't have pound to kilogram, but I do have kilogram to pound. I'll use that one. 1 kilogram, 2.205 pounds. 1 kilogram, 2.205 pounds, right? So the 2.205 is the pounds. 1 kilogram is 2.205 pounds. So again, this is saying, oh, by the way, you're supposed to multiply the 18 by the 2.205. And when you do that, 18 by 2.205 equals, it's about a, what do I got here? 39.69 or something. Let's call it 39.7. So it's just about a little under 40 pounds, 39.7 pounds. I hope you're digging on this method. So what else is there to show you today? Well, there's a little bit more that we can show you today. So on the next page, notice I copied that because you want to have that handy at all times. But I got four more examples on this page, and then we'll have one on the last page. So 4 more examples on this page. This is called doing the two-step. Doing the two-step. What are you talking about? I'll show you what I'm talking about. Ready? First, I want to start with kilometers, and I want to end up with feet. So put the kilometers over 1. I am definitely going to want to cancel the kilometers. It would be nice if I had kilometers to feet conversion factor that I could look up. So I'm looking up here for some kind of kilometers to feet. Kilometers to feet. Well, there's kilometers to meters. I don't have kilometers to feet. Are you kidding me? I have feet over here. I have feet over here. I have feet over here. So I'm just looking at all my feets. I don't have kilometers to feet. But if you look at these two, this will get me from kilometers into meters, and then this one will get me from meters into feet. So think of doing a two-step. First, convert your kilometers into meters, and then convert your meters into feet. Then you'll have feet. So that's what I mean by two-step. So we're not going to be able to go to feet straight away, so let me erase that. First, I'm going to use this conversion to go from kilometers to meters. And by the way, it says that 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. Okay, I'm at meters now, right? The kilometers are gone. I now have meters. Now I want my meters to cancel, and I'll use this one to get me from meters to feet, and that's what I wanted. So fill this fact in. It says 1 meter is 3.2808 feet. So it looks like it's a big string of multiplication here. Okay, feet survive. That's what we want. So I start with my 1.5 over there. I multiply it by my 1,000, and then I multiply that by 3.2808. So after a string of multiplication, I end up with just about, I'm going to round this to 4921. It's a lot of feet. If you're taking baby steps, it's 4,921 baby steps to go 1.5 kilometers. I don't think I want to count that high ever. But there, now we know. Let's see what this one looks like. We want to go from centimeters to feet. So start by writing down 27.5 centimeters over 1. Now I am going to want to convert centimeters. I'm going to kind of pencil in the feet here because I'm hoping I can go from centimeters to feet or find a conversion up here that goes centimeters to feet. So let's erase all this stuff. I said erase, erase, erase. Okay. We're trying to go from centimeters to feet. Where's the centimeters in here? This will get me centimeters to inches, centimeters to millimeters. These aren't feet. This will get me feet to inches, meters to feet, centimeters to meters. Okay. So you gotta, and there's more than one way to do it. Usually, there's more than one way to do it. So I'm saying, okay, I want to get from centimeters to feet. What path should I take? And I'm kind of liking the idea of just using these two right here, because this one will take me from centimeters to inches, and then this one can take me from inches to feet, right? You can use these to go either way. You can use this to go from feet to inches. You can use this to go from inches to feet. I, of course, want to use it to go from inches to feet. So there I go. You hitch up a little chain. I'm going to go from centimeters to inches here. Why'd you erase? Why'd you erase? I'm going to go from centimeters to inches there, and then I'll go from inches to feet there. So no, I can't go straight to feet. Erase that. Erase that. So the first thing I'm going to do, I have to start with centimeters, of course. So I'm starting over here. I'm saying 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. Okay. Now I'm going to want the inches to cancel. I use this conversion. 1 foot is 12 inches. 1 foot is 12 inches. So there we have our conversion thing. Now, by the way, when you're doing these things on a calculator, you can save yourself a lot of time if you simply do it this way. You can actually, when it's all multiplied like this is, when you have a bunch of fractions multiplied, you just multiply all the things that are on the top, and then you, one at a time, divide by that denominator, divide by that denominator. Just make sure you hit the divide every time. So if you enter this in, 27.5 divide by 2.54 divide by 12, right, equals, I'm getting something like 0.902 feet. So see how that has 3 digits? That's why I'm given 3 digits here as well. I figure if this is worth 3 digits, my answer should be worth at least 3 digits. So that's just a side note there. Okay, so notice we had centimeters. Whoops, boy. Okay, notice we had centimeters, and we had to divide by the 2.54 to get us inches, but then we had to divide by the 12 inches to get us feet. Bunch of division going on there, which is interesting. This example, we had to multiply a couple times. This one, we had to divide a couple times. Sometimes you have to do one and the other. You have to do a multiply, you have to do divide. You know, just set up the ratios. It'll keep you on track. All right, what do we got here? A metric ton, go to pounds. So a metric ton is not the same as a ton. Metric ton is actually a bit heavier. But I've got 1 metric ton, and I would like to get into pounds somehow. Let me abbreviate that, MT for metric ton. Metric ton to pounds. Well, we're going to need some conversion factors. Let's come up here. Let's erase what I have here. Erase. Metric ton. The only place I see a metric ton is right here. That gets me to kilograms. That's the only place I see metric ton in this whole thing, so I guess I'm going to have to use it, so I might as well just write that down now. 1 metric ton is 1,000 kilograms. So what I want to do now is, I think we have a kilogram to pound conversion up here, don't we? Kilogram to pound, yes we do, it's right there. So now I'll use this one. 1 kilogram, 2.205 pounds. 1 kilogram, 2.205 pounds. So it looks like this one, we've got a bunch of multiplication going on again. 1 times 1,000 times 2.205 is, we've got 1 metric ton is 2205 pounds. So remember, a regular ton is 2,000 pounds. A metric ton's a little bit bigger. So if somebody wants to give you a metric ton, say, ooh, I can dig it. I like big tons. I like big tons. And we got one more on this page, so you should try this one yourself. Go from liters to gallons. I'm guessing it'll be 2 steps since we're on the 2-step page. But yeah, just pause, give it a twirl, see what you get. Back already, huh? Well, 25 liters over 1. Now I'm going to cancel liters for sure. Can I get straight to gallons is always the big question. Can I get straight to gallons? Get this out of here. Straight to gallons. Can I? Let's see. What do I have again? I have liters. Where do liters show up? Liters show up here. That gets me to quarts. I'm trying to get over here to gallons. Remember, the big stuff's on the left. I'm trying to get over here to gallons. Well, I'll just have to use these two, really. No, not those two. Those two, really. Because this one will get me from liters into quarts, and then this one can get me from quarts into gallons. And that's what I want is gallons. Okay, cool. So I'll use this one first. 1 liter is 1.0567 quarts. 1 liter, 1.0567 quarts. Now I got liters canceled, I got quarts. Now I want to cancel quarts and get gallons, and that's when I use this one over here. It says 1 gallon is 4 quarts. 1 gallon is 4 quarts. So notice this time with the calculator, we're going to take the 25, we're going to multiply it by the 1.0567, and then we're going to divide it by the 4. By the way, that's another reason to like this multiplier method, is because once you've got it set up, first of all, because you've made sure the units are canceling, you know you're going to get the right answer. Just don't push any wrong buttons or anything, but you know you're going to get the right answer. But also, it just, boom, you can just, it tells you to just type like this. 25 times 1.0567 divide by 4. Bam! I got, what have I got? 6 point, like, we'll call it 60. 6.60 gallons. Jeez, it's that much. So 25 liters, I guess it would be, is about 6.60 gallons. If you just think of a liter as roughly a quart, it takes 4 quarts to make a gallon. So 25 divided by 4, you're expecting 6-ish. A little more than that, really, 6.60 gallons. But notice here we had a perfect example of, we had the liters, we had to multiply by this, but then we had to divide by this. And again, it's so nice. It's on the calculator, you just enter it all in one string, hit equals, boom, you're done. Okay, so I hope you're really starting to appreciate this method. Like I say, we're going to be using it the whole rest of the term, really. One more example I wanted to do, just to make the point. You don't have to limit yourself to 2 steps, of course. So just once, just for fun, we're going to do the 3-step. So here's a situation where you might need to use a 3-step. We got to get from cc's all the way to gallons. cc's to gallons. All right, here we go. Remember, gallons are way the heck over here. cc's are the smallest thing in the world. They're way the heck over there. So we're going to have to get from here over to there somewhere. And we're talking something like a 3-step process. Let's see. Well, what's this telling me? This is telling me a cc and a milliliter are the same. Didn't I just talk about that? Yeah, I was. A cc and a milliliter is the same. cc stands for cubic centimeter. This is from page 1. 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter volume, a cube. And the volume in there is called a milliliter. They're just 2 names for the same thing. So really, I could just change my problem right now and say, did you say milliliters? I'm pretty sure you said milliliters. Okay. So we're going to get from milliliters to gallons, all right? That's what we're going to do, milliliters to gallons. cc is a milliliter. We're going to get from milliliters to gallons. Well, right here, I'm seeing milliliters gets me to liters. Okay, that would help. So my milliliters would turn into liters. That's bigger. Go away. Well, over here, liters could go into quarts. Yeah, see what we're doing? We're going to take our milliliters and turn them into liters. Then we're going to take our liters and turn them into quarts. And then we're going to take our quarts and turn them into gallons. It is a 3-step. So I'm going to start over here. So you start by writing down, I've got 4,500 milliliters over 1. Conversion factor number 1. It says 1,000 milliliters, which goes on the bottom so that I can cancel, is equal to 1 liter. Hey, now I got liters. Conversion factor number 2 says 1 liter, I put that on the bottom so the liters cancel, is 1.0567 quarts. All right, we're moving now, eh, folks? Now I got quarts, so I bring in this one. It says 1 gallon equals 4 quarts. How do I know to write it that way? To make sure the quarts cancel. I'm left with gallons. And on your calculator, the easy way to do this, you just grab it right out. You say, I got a 4,500 on top, type it in. Oh, looks like I need to divide by 1,000. Okay, fine. Oh, looks like I need to multiply by 1.0567. Okay, fine. Now it looks like I need to divide by 4. Okay, fine. So you just do that all in a row. Works every time. If you don't trust me, you can do it the old multiply all the way on the cross, on the top, multiply across all the way on the bottom, take the top, divide by the bottom. You'll get the same thing. So, typing it in, 4,500 divided by 1,000 times 1.057. Oh, I'm sorry. That's a 1.057. So why don't I do it right just for kicks? 1.0567. Okay, and then divide by 4 equals, and I'm getting a 1.189. Well, 1.189. Yeah, that'll work. So notice they gave me 4 numbers. I gave them 4 numbers. So that's pretty good. That's a pretty good practice. So there. Make your units cancel. That is front and center for today. We got nothing else, right? Right. Nothing else. Hopefully, just cut this out or something. Put it on top of your notebook. Put it on top of your table. Whatever. Just keep it handy because we're going to need it for the rest of the term. I'll be referring to these conversion factors for the rest of the term. Okay, cool.